Johan, I'm waiting for you.
We say that a will is where we something about when someone has died.
I don't understand. I've not understood the thing of what you have said. Can you make clear what you have said?
Please help us.
Jebbi, let me take Jebbi.
Yes.
Yes, a will is a formal or legal document that says or states who you want to take your property or will after you have died.
States the person you would like to take your property when you have passed on. Thank you. Any other person who can make it, who can give us, I think we shall go with that explanation. What about the elements? When you're writing a will, what are those things that you should consider, or what is that you include? That's what I'm interested in. Joshua, can you mute your microphone? I am always unmuting you, and you're muting yourself after. Baziwane Joshua, can you mute your microphone? Account, is it session account? I don't know. Who is that one?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Share with us.
A will. This is a document that contains all the things owned by a person that he or she intends to serve them without being forced.
Okay. I have not understood you. Is that how we defined it?
No, it's my first time to join this lesson.
Oh, sorry. Okay, the people who were here will help us. Someone has already defined it as a formal document or legal document that states who you would like to leave or give your property when you have passed on. We also talked about common terms which we use. Those are the terms now I'm interested in. The common terms we use when writing a will. What were the common words? David V.
Testatrix.
Testatrix, that is who now?
A female person who makes a will.
Okay, and if it's a male?
A tester.
Okay, tester or tester. That is there. Any other? Next person, session account, your hand is up. Session account. Joshua, can you mute your microphone? Baziwane Joshua, can you mute your microphone? Thank you. Any other common words we use when we're writing a will? What were they? Can I at least get Jebbi?
There is executor or executrix.
Yes, who is that one?
A person supposed to carry out the wishes in the will.
Okay, thank you. Any other person? Session account. I don't know, you mute and unmute when you're not called upon. Do you want to say something?
What about the hair?
The hair, did we talk about it? Did we talk about it? Jen, Agote.
Revoke.
To revoke, what is to revoke?
To withdraw or to cancel.
Yes, so you revoke or cancel. Galaxy A51.
Solicitor.
We have a solicitor. Who is that?
Lawyer.
Legal representative. It can be a lawyer, it can be an attorney. Okay. Okay, we talked about the first paragraph. What are the elements that are found in a will? What are those elements or aspects that are on a will that we talked about? Let's talk about them. Session account, I'm going to be forced to remove you if you do not go by our rules. If you do not mute your microphone when you're called upon, then you're going to have issues with me. Muhindo Esther, mute your microphone. Ronald. Yes, Harriet. Harriet, what are the elements that are found on a will?
Find that date.
When you're writing, what do we start with when we're writing a will?
When you're writing a will, first you find the person who was really writing, then the date, he or she.
Is that what we start with? What does a will, what is the first thing we start with? Jen, what do we begin with? Pardon?
Title.
Yes, we begin.
The first with the date.
Okay, we can always come back to that later. Thank you. We start with the title. The title can be simple: last will and testament of someone. Then you mention the name. What do we follow with? Very first, what do we follow with? Busingye. What is in our first paragraph of the will? Busingye, what is in our first paragraph of writing our will? The name of charity.
The name of the owner of the will.
Yes, you have the name. What else is contained there?
Material status.
Infinix. Okay, status. Thank you. Infinix HOT 8. What can you tell us? HOT 10 rather. Who are you so that I can rename you? Who is using Infinix HOT 10?
I'm Sheila.
Sheila. Okay, let me rename you. Sheila, tell us what is found in the first paragraph apart from the name? Yes, Sheila. Yes, Sheila, I'm waiting for you. What is found in the first paragraph? Angote Jen had told us we have a name, we have the status. Now, you did always, because you see, this thing is about format. If you do not get the format, then you are most likely to miss out. So as a student, when I give you an example of a will, I expect you to very much master the format of the will. JB, you want to say something before I move to the next thing? Okay, fine. Let us now look at today. I think so many people have come in and we have tried to remind ourselves of what we looked at yesterday. We can now look at the next aspect. Today, I want us to look at a new aspect. We want to look at how do we direct someone to our home? Have you learned directions? Anyone who has knowledge? How can you direct me to your home? How can you direct your friend to your home from the point they are stranded? How do you usually direct the person who is coming to your home to reach safely to your place? So we want to begin from there. Directions and instructions are the same. If you look at the examination instructions, what are those things that are common with all instructions that were given in case they have set for you an exam? What are the common things that you see in instructions, or who can help us to understand instructions? What are those things you see in instructions? Or what are instructions? Let's begin from there, because instructions and directions are the same. Can we begin sharing? What are instructions? Session account, can I know your name so that I change?
Olivia.
Olivia, yes, Olivia, what are instructions?
These are guidelines that direct you how you should conduct something or carry out.
They are instructions or directing you on how to do something. Yes, thank you. Note 8 plus, what is your name? Note 8 plus, what is your name?
Martin.
That is SOM's Resource Centre. SOM's Resource Centre is Martin. Okay, Martin, anything you want to tell us about directions? What are directions?
Directions, I think, to guide someone to your place. You can use name of important places like schools, hospitals, and all those.
I wanted you to at least help us define what directions are, because we need to know what we are talking about before we start. What do you think directions are? Nderema Charity? Nderema Charity?
These are directions or orders to be done or ordered to be done.
Okay, those are, what are you defining?
Instructions.
Okay, so we can also define now directions as a form of instruction. So usually, if you're to direct me to your place, or if you're directing your friend to your place, what are the common things we look at? So we're going to look at some of those things in terms of language, in terms of the landmarks, then the common words used. We want to look at all those things and be able to understand directions. I am very sure most of you have been faced with the challenge of directing someone, and we find it very hard to direct someone. Or you've often in Africa, most times you hear someone saying, you keep going, you keep going. Now, that is not the right way to direct someone. When you're directing someone, you're supposed to use specific language, an appropriate language. So we want to look at some of those things. How can we be able to direct someone to reach to your place? So we are saying directions are a form of instructions, so they should be therefore be clear enough. So let me share my screen and show you what I wanted us to share today so that you're able to see. But today we are dealing with directions, even just how to ask for directions. Most times we just assume you just bump into someone, I want to go to such and such a place. But most times we are supposed to ask for directions in a specific way. And you should be able to direct that person up to the place you are in. So let us see how we can be able to direct someone to your place. Okay. Okay. Senior 3 English lesson. Okay. Okay. So this is what we have. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Students, are you able to see my screen? Okay. So that is what we have
Yes.
today. Okay. So want to look at directions. What are they? We say directions are a form of instructions. They should therefore be clear enough to enable a person to get from one place to another. I beg your pardon? Are you not seeing the screen?
No, we are not.
It could be your network.
Yes.
It could be your
not
network.
clear. So it's not clear.
I'm seeing it.
Auto-rotate your phone. Auto-rotate your phone.
We are seeing it's clear.
Okay, that's what I wanted us to be able to see. We say that these are form of instructions, so they should be clear enough to enable a person to get from one place to another. So when you're beginning to direct someone, you should also know where they are.
So it's clear, we are seeing it.
Okay. So you should know exactly the point someone is in. Either the person is at the trading center or maybe the person is at exact point. So you should also know before you begin directing someone where they are. How to make directions easy and understandable. I'm giving you a few guidelines here. The language should be clear and appropriate. Sometimes you're directing a person who is young. Please use the appropriate words. Don't direct that person like you're directing a mature person using very difficult words of English. So make sure you use the right language, and you should be clear, be simple, so that the person does not get lost. So the first thing I'm telling you here is to be very, very appropriate when you're dealing with the language. The second thing I'm asking you to be aware of, landmarks such as mountains, rivers, hills, and buildings should be mentioned. Why do we mention them? Those are permanent features. Those permanent features are a guide, so that even if something happens, they do not disappear overnight. Don't say, when you reach the corner, you will find Mama Nachi. Now, it is not, sometimes Mama Nachi being a person, she's mobile. So look for things which do not move easily. A house does not easily move. It will always be there, especially permanent buildings. So let us make sure those are common. However, I'm very interested in the common words which give aid or which make easy giving directions. Now, when someone is, you say, don't say keep moving, keep moving. Instead, you tell the person, keep straight or go straight. Are we together? Tell someone, go straight on maybe such and such a road. So those are the words. Instead of saying keep going, then other people say, then make a corner. That is also wrong. Don't say make a corner. Instead, say turn or bear right. Now, when a person is walking, you can tell them turn right or bear right. That is the same as saying you're making the person to take the opposite direction.
Teacher.
Or you're telling the person, yes? Please ask. Please ask.
When we are directing somebody.
Yes.
When we are directing somebody.
Yes.
Can we use the simplest language we understand, or you make sure you use the words that are.
Now, when you talk about easy language, for example, if you look at your language,
the words that are.
What I What I mean,
understandable.
First, keep
Hello?
quiet and start explaining.
You just keep quiet, I explain. What I mean is, when a person, for example, if you're directing someone who is young, who does not have very good grammar, please endeavor to use appropriate grammar for that person. For example, if I am talking to you in senior 3, I cannot use very complicated language. I use fair grammar compared to when I'm dealing with senior 5s. Are we together? That's what we are saying, appropriate grammar. You choose your words well so that the other person can understand. That is what we mean. You should use words which help the person easily to understand. Don't use very complicated grammar.
Okay.
I think that point is also clear. Okay. I don't know whether this person has got a question. This is not Suga.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes,
that's what we
teacher.
are. Okay. So always endeavor to use appropriate language. So that is what we mean by appropriate. I want to go back to the words. Don't say keep walking, keep walking. I said what you say. The right word there to use is keep straight or go straight. Now, sometimes when after using the word like go straight, you might not again use the word go straight. You will have to bring in another word. For example, after saying go straight for 15 kilometers. If the person calls you before the 15 kilometers, you can use another word like go a little farther or drive a little farther. That's what we meant. You can tell the person to drive a little farther. I wanted to pick something from the drive to keep showing you. Let me go back to my document so that we are able to see. Okay, so the other word you can use is go a little further, stroke drive. If someone is driving, use also appropriate language. You can tell the person to keep driving or to move further. The other word is look, stroke, watch out for. Do you understand that one? Please
Teacher,
mute your microphones.
The screen you shared has gone off.
Okay, I'm about to go there again. I'm about to reach there. Senior 3 is here. I wanted to show you the other one. Let us mute our microphones.
Okay.
Please mute our microphones. Can you now see? The other words we commonly use is follow the signs too. If there are road signs, you can tell the person to follow certain road signs. You can also tell the person to take the left hand instead of using the same word like turn left, you can say take the left hand. Now, what you should know is these things are written in paragraphs. So to avoid repetition, you can use these words constantly make difference. Please, let's mute our microphones.
Yes,
I want people to mute their microphones. Okay, you can always ask when you come back. Let's mute our microphones. So the other word you can look at is take the left hand is another way to vary. You can say take the left hand. That is another common word. Take the left hand is a good word. I'm here. I'm about to share again. It's okay. Are you seeing now? I have to go back to unmute you all the time. So let's make sure we mute the words. So these are the common words. I don't know if you can see them. Please write them down. They are very important. You can write them down. So these are the different words that you can use to avoid repetition when you're directing someone. Also, they are meaningful words. You can tell someone to bear left if you've already saying turn left. Take the left hand. Take the left hand, then you can continue constructing your sentence. Look, stroke, watch out for. If there are permanent features, like let's say a school or a hospital, you can tell the person after
Sir, I can't hear you.
So I'm not hearing you.
So we are not hearing.
I can't hear also.
Me too.
We are not hearing.
We can't even see anything.
The video has gone invisible.
So we are not hearing. I'm not hearing.
So your voice is it's okay. I'm here now. Network is off and on. Eh?
Okay.
Network is off and on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, network is off and on.
Yes, we are hearing you.
I was saying the other words you can use. If the person is already in the street, you can say, walk up to the end of the street. Or when you...
Screen more one.
Now, network is disturbing me. It is off and on. However, if you can be able to access, your Google Classroom, are we together?
Yes.
If you can be able to access your Google Classroom, you can also be able to run there because I've already posted that work there.
Yeah.
Please, Ronald, stop sharing your screen. Ronald, stop sharing your screen. I've shared this work also in our Google Classroom, so let us be comparing with what I have. Network is off and on. Okay. I hope you can hear me. Please always mute your microphones. You're the ones disturbing because I have to keep running back. Mute your microphones. Mute your microphones.
Okay, to go back briefly.
Okay. Please mute your microphones. If not, I'm going to remove you. Thank you. So those are the common words we use. You cannot, it is very important. You'll see how we apply them in the example. Okay, so you can look at those words and try to make meaning, note them down. Is there any word which you don't understand among those words? You simply put up your hand, then me, I'll come to your rescue. If there is a word you don't understand, if there is a word you don't understand, you let me know, and then I help you. Stop. Please let us stop sharing our screens. Is there any word you've not understood among those words? Let me take a focus on those words because they're important. If there's a word you've not understood, you put up your hand. I'm here to explain because they are good words instead of using direct translations.
Not saying.
Yes, gift.
Shall we are not seeing on the screen?
It is okay. Okay, I thought you had put a few words down. It's okay. let's stop. The problem is you all unmute and I have to come back to unmute you from this side. So let us be organized. You simply put your hand up. You simply put up your hand, then me, I pick you. But when we all speak at once, I cannot be able to pick you. Are we together?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Let me show you the words again, and then you're able to let me know. I had displayed those words, so you can discuss with us in your which word makes it hard for you to understand, or which one you do not understand. Then I explain to you, because these are the common words we shall be using when we are dealing with directions. They help us in making our essay. My network is an issue. Yes, I see hands up, Wilson. Wilson. Wilson, can you share with us?
Yes, I have not understood you.
Which one?
Actually, the work is just disappearing. I've not seen the work. Huh?
Okay, I had displayed the work. Some of you join in late, so I had displayed the work, but we shall keep going back there. Let us first listen to the rest, then I'll be able to come back.
Okay.
Okay, gift. Gift.
Church is the meaning
I beg your pardon?
of.
Pardon? Okay, now have you seen? Okay, I want to explain. Are you now listening? Are you listening? Can we hear? All of us, can we hear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. If you're moving on a straight road,
Yes.
you meet.
Teacher.
Then you. Yes.
Teacher. What's the meaning of fork right, fork left?
That's what I'm trying to explain. Can you listen? That's what I'm trying to explain. That when you're moving on a road, and you reach a point if you're on a straight road, then you meet a V shape, one going to the left, the other going to the right, but they look to be connected in such a V form shape. If you put your hands together like so, that V shape of a road, the one is called the fork, the other one is also called the fork. So on the left is your fork left. It means take left. But the road should have such a fork format. Are we together? It should look like a fork. You've seen how the shape of a fork. So that's what we call forking left, right. I'll be able to draw some of those in illustrations and show you that this means fork left, this means turn left or turn right. I'll be able to illustrate them later on in your examples. Muhindo Esther. Muhindo Esther.
Yes, sir. It was the same question.
Beg your pardon?
It was the same question. I've understood now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that is what we call fork left, fork right. Wilson, your hand has been up. I tried to pick you and you're not answering.
Yes, I wanted to ask the meaning of term.
The meaning of?
Term.
Turn?
Term. Under the common.
What do you mean
word.
term?
The first one.
It is turn, not term. It is turn, T-U-R-N.
Okay.
It is T-U-R-N, turn left, turn right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Muhindo Esther, you had not, your hand was up. Okay. Now I want to go to the next bit. Thank you, those who have been sharing. Let us look at something else. I want us to look at now something very important. Note. We're going to look at the note here and see what is important again when we are writing. I had hinted on it earlier. Now I want us to take this here. I hope we are seeing the screen.
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Okay. So let us note, while referring to landmarks or features on the road, there are things that we must always put key attention to. The other things one must know. Ensure you know the road or the road signs. For example, up to now, we have people who do not know what traffic lights are. We have people who do not know what a roundabout is. Please, let's mute our microphones. Let's mute our microphones. So traffic lights, roundabouts, the bypass. What is a bypass? What is a zebra crossing? So I'm going to challenge you after this lesson. I want you to be able to examine, or even right now as it's going on. Do you know any of these things? Oh, what do you know? What don't you know? Challenge yourself to know. What is a bypass? What is a zebra crossing? What is a pedestrian crossing? What is a road crossing? So these road signs are also important for a student, not just to pass. Sorry, but in our day-to-day life, you should be able to know what junctions are. What are the common signs? What is a lane? What is a track shape? So that is a challenge I'm giving to you today as a student. Be able to ask yourself, do I know any of these things? I'll be able to share with you a few pictures, but also you need to challenge yourself to know those common signs. Then the other thing, note, while referring to landmarks or features on the roads, use permanent ones. I already talked about this, that use permanent features. Most times we misuse this, or we take it slightly. But whenever you use mobile features, something that can move away, your friend may get lost. Remember, we said directions are a form of instruction. So you must make sure that the person gets the instruction very well. And we have already given you the guide, the common words we use, and the language you are supposed to use. So please take it very seriously when you're dealing with road marks. Use the permanent ones, like schools, like hotels, like hospitals, like buildings. Now, trees sometimes fall off. However, a forest can be okay. However, don't use things like a car. A car can be moved. A car can drive away unless you're already there and you say, have you maybe seen this car moving? But sometimes also that car has not gone towards the direction of the person. So let us make sure we use permanent features. I hope we are understanding.
Yes.
Okay, you can simply answer and then you mute again.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Then you can mute yourself.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
The other thing I want you to be careful with, avoid using names that are localized to an area. For example, if you're in Kawempe, and in Kawempe there is a specific place you stay, it is called Owachairman. Now, instead of saying Kawempe Zone A, maybe don't put there the localized name Owachairman unless it is on a signpost. Most of you simply say Mukayembe unless it is on a signpost. But if it is a name that is only known for people in that place, don't direct someone using that. So don't use localized names of only that place unless it's on a sign post. That is also very important. The other thing I'm going to encourage you so much to avoid, or rather to encourage you to do, when we are dealing with distance, try to use measurements. You can say, please, can we mute our microphones? I don't want to remove anyone. Let's use measurements. Use appropriate distances a person is likely to travel. For example, if you know from Masaka to Kampala is 120, tell the person you will travel for 120 kilometers. But now if the person is not very far from your place, you can say it is about 3 kilometers. Also, when someone has reached almost near and you know the place, you can keep using measurements. Please try to use measurements. Walk for about 2 minutes. That is also a time frame. You can tell someone, walk for about 2 minutes, walk for about 2 kilometers, or not kilometers, but rather walk for about 3 meters and turn left. So those are common words we are going to be using. So what I have done is to give you a hint on what is the instructions, the common words that we find in directions. I don't want us to forget. We have all agreed that directions are a form of instructions. Does anyone have a question up to this point so far? Faith, why is your hand up? Faith, do you have something you want to tell us?
Sir, I'm asking. If someone asks you what is the direction, you just say directions are form of instructions, then that is enough.
Yes. Now in paper one, we usually don't really care about definitions. They are just a guideline when we are dealing with the topic. For example, here we are dealing with instructions. So for you, just need to know that they're a form of instructions, because when we are dealing with the directions, we usually handle them hand in hand with instructions.
Okay.
So it is okay. The most important for you at your level in senior 3 is to know the format. What is the format? What is the language? What is the content? And I have already given you some of the guiding words to writing instructions. Yes. So for you, it is not about definitions. We shall never ask you to define, but you also need to know what are they. You can explain by telling us that they're a form of instruction. How do they come to pass as a form of instruction? When you are giving me directions, I am literally paying attention and I am listening to them, because they are instructions that will guide me to reach your home or to reach a particular place. So that's why we call them a form of instructions. Does that help you?
Yes.
Okay. Tracy? Tracy?
So far looking so confused. Are we on directions under wheel?
No, we finished the wheel last week. We introduced, today's topic is directions. Those are two aspects. What we did was to recap. We started to remind ourselves of what we looked at last week. After that, we switched to directions.
Already mixing them up.
Pardon?
People mixing them up.
No, I don't think it's people. Maybe it is you, because we started earlier with asking people, what did we learn last week? After that, we went down to look at directions. We defined directions that each time someone wants to come to your home, what do? You direct them. So the topic today is directions. Then what are the common words we use when directing people? We looked at them. We finished the wheel last week. I even gave you a sample wheel in your class, as in your Google Classroom. If you did, I don't know, you should go and, have you signed up for Google Classroom?
Yes.
Yes, if you've been there, you can be able to see that I've given those notes, the explanations, and whatever is there. So these instructions, if you want me to come to your home, you must direct me, especially if I don't know. So we teach you how to direct your friend. That's what we are doing today.
Okay, sir.
All right. I have an example definitely, and I'll be able to share with you. Tracy, you're done. Muhindo Esther. Muhindo Esther.
Yes, sir.
Your hand is up.
No.
You didn't know. It was up.
I never knew.
Sorry, it's okay. Williams. Williams. Okay, Katz. Katz. Katz, your hand is up. Yes.
Yeah. No group.
Look for clear network. Look for clear network. Yes, now you can tell us. Olivia?
Sir, you're not clear. You're not clear. Be loud enough.
Okay, it's they usually say be audible so that we. Thank you. I'm just waiting for questions around the same before I give you my example. That's what I'm doing. Katz, your hand is up finally. Infinix SMART 5. Okay. If there is no question, let me look at your chart. Okay. Cuts your network is. Cuts your network.
My network.
King Julius.
I've just joined this group some minutes back.
Yes. Okay, if you have just joined, we have been looking at directions. We defined directions. We said directions are a form of instruction. That is the first thing. We say they are a form of instructions. So if someone is giving you instructions, they should be clear and use simple language that the person can understand. We also looked at the different terms or the common words which we can use when we are dealing with directions. What are those words that we need to use when we are dealing with directions to avoid? If I asked anyone here to direct someone, you'd hear them saying, keep moving, keep moving. We said those are not the right words. So the right words we agreed are here. The topic is here. Directions is our topic. Here, I hope we see that week 2 rather, it is directions. We asked ourselves, what are they and what is needed when giving directions? We tried to define them here. So what is needed when giving directions is all here. The language, permanent features, and the common words to be applied are here. That's what we are saying today. You'll forgive me, my network is not so good, but at least I'm trying to project the work. So those who have just joined, this is what we are dealing with. We looked at the common words which aid giving directions. Take left, follow the left side, watch out for this, all these are words. Then other things also we looked at are here. So I hope that helps those who have just joined. I'm still interested in any question that you have. If not, please go to your Google Classroom and you'll be able to see. I have given an example in our Google Classroom. We have 2 hands up. JB. JB.
Yes, sir.
Your hand is up.
I wanted to ask that in what paper do we get to be asked about?
Okay. Now this is paper 1. Paper 1 is, I thought I had introduced already this paper. This is paper 1. It is marked out of 40. Section A has a compulsory number, and these are the things they may examine. Then section B is where you write stories. You know that paper where you write stories?
Yes.
This is the paper where you will write stories. This is paper. Now, next week I'll be dealing with paper 2, which is made out of 60. That's what I will be handling. I will handle composition, and then I will also handle maybe summary writing. I hope they had introduced for you summary writing in your school.
Yes.
Okay, so this is paper 1. Thank you. Julius? Julius? Julius, your hand is up. Okay, so Julius is hand. So my request, yes, Julius?
No, sir. What I'm asking is,
yes,
that what if I don't know the distance from where the one I'm directing is from where to where I am?
Then you can use physical features. We have already talked about them.
First way, teacher, and I would like to know how that question is said.
No, they can simply tell you, I have a sample question I've sent for you. They can tell you, direct your friend from the trading center. Maybe you know the place. For example, they can say, direct your friend from Masaka town up to your school, or direct your friend from town up to your home. So you must be able to tell us all those small details. And there is no way you cannot know, because at the end of the day, one of the rules is you must know your place very well. You must know the features. You must know the distance. So that is your task. You have to know. If you do not know exactly the distance, then you can approximate. When you're approximating, you're not giving the exact, but you're giving closer figures too. So it's not always a must that you know the exact figures, but the best is using time. If you do not know the exact time, you can say drive for about 15 minutes or walk for about 10 minutes. So you can use time as a measurement of distance. It can bring you closer. Does that make sense? Yes? Does that make sense?
Yes,
The person has run away.
Yes.
Okay, and Anzo? Galaxy Tab A.
Is it a must that it should be realistic?
Very much. No. Why would you want to lie? Now, sometimes, where would you want to lie? Especially if you know the place. Because the whole point here is not just forging, but it's about you being able. Of course, here it's creative writing. So you must give us the idea that you know how to direct. That's why the other words are important. However, don't lie if you know the truth. But if it's for the purpose of passing, then you can simply estimate. Are we together? You can simply estimate. That's what you can do. What else? Yes?
Sure, we can't hear.
Teacher.
Be loud. You be audible. We can't hear.
Yeah.
Teacher.
The teacher is gone.
Teacher, we can't hear.
Teacher, we can't hear.
Network is disturbing.
Sure, we cannot hear.
Time up. I think the teacher is done.
Angel and Numa.
Yeah. What's up with you guys? I don't.
You wait.
Just check that.
Friend. You have bad manners. What did you want?
Teacher.
We can't hear you. Hi.
I'm in class.
Pardon? There is some guy saying hello.
Okay, can go off.
So.
Bye-bye.
Let's meet next.
I think you've ended the lesson.
Members, the lesson is still.
It's done.
Teacher is sending work.